Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into something pretty cosmic today. It's the intersection of art, mythology, and astronomy, and the jumping off point.
Well, it all starts with a painting, actually. A masterpiece, you might say. It's called The Origin of the Milky Way by Jacopo Tintoretto.
Tintoretto, huh? I feel like I've heard that name before, but help me out. Who was he again?
Oh, he was a big deal during the Venetian Renaissance.
Yeah.
Known for his dramatic, dynamic style, the guy could capture motion on canvas like no other.
Okay, now it's coming back to me. Sort of a Michelangelo vibe, right?
Yeah.
All those swirling figures and vibrant colors.
You got it. And just like we've done before, we're pulling from a bunch of different sources to get the full picture. We've got descriptions from the National Gallery, where the painting lives in London, some art history lectures, and even get this a discussion about framing.
Wait, framing, like picture frames. What does that have to do with the Milky Way?
Well, we'll get to that. It's more about how framing can affect how we see and understand art, kind of like how our perspective on the Milky Way has changed over time.
Okay, you've piqued my curiosity. So, big picture, what are we trying to get at here today?
It's all about interpretations. How did different cultures make sense of the Milky Way, and how did artists like Tintoretto represent those ideas in their work?
Got it. Different lenses on the same cosmic phenomenon. I'm into it. So let's talk about this painting. Just from looking at it, what grabs you?
Oh man, where to even start? First off, the energy. It's like this whirlwind of celestial activity, all these figures caught in this dynamic moment.
Yeah, and the colors, so vibrant and rich, like he somehow bottled up the cosmos and splattered it on the canvas.
Exactly. And that's classic Venetian painting. They love their colors. But it's also the composition. The way Tintoretto uses diagonal lines and swirling forms to create that sense of movement, drawing your eye across the canvas. You can really see those Mannerist influences there.
Mannerist.
Yeah, it's this style that emerged in the late Italian Renaissance. I think pushing boundaries, breaking the rules a bit, a little more dramatic and theatrical than what came before.
Okay, so walk us through the scene. Who are the main players in this cosmic drama?
Front and center, you've got Jupiter, the top dog of the Roman gods, swooping down with the baby Hercules. He's trying to pull a fast one, make Hercules immortal by getting him to nurse from, get this, Juno.
Juno. Wait, isn't she Jupiter's wife? Sounds a little risky.
Oh, it totally is. And Juno's not too happy about it, let me tell you. She's reclining on this luxurious cloud bed surrounded by her symbols of power, an eagle and a peacock. But you can see the tension in her posture. She's about to blow.
And blow, she does, literally right. Isn't that spray of milk supposed to be the Milky Way itself?
That's the myth, yep. Tintoretto captures that instant of creation. It's like, boom, the Milky Way is born from this divine mishap.
Wow. You know, it's amazing how a painting from centuries ago can still spark our imaginations. Oh, something just occurred to me. Didn't this painting used to be bigger?
Good eye. Yeah, originally there were lilies at the bottom, but they got chopped off somewhere along the line. Art historians think they represented the Earth, kind of like the earthly consequence of this celestial event.
Huh. It's like a piece of the puzzle is missing now. It makes you think about the whole framing thing you mentioned. Could the original frame have highlighted those lilies somehow? Like, connect the cosmic and earthly realms?
It's possible. Framing isn't just about decoration. It can really change how we experience a painting. It can draw your eye to certain details, emphasize certain themes, and sadly, we've lost a lot of those original frames from older works.
It's like a missing piece of the conversation between the artist and us, the viewers, isn't it? Speaking of conversation, let's talk about the story itself, this whole myth about the origin of the Milky Way. It's pretty wild.
Wild is an understatement. The ancient Greeks, and later the Romans, were all about using these grand stories to make sense of the world around them. Human drama, divine intervention, and bam, you've got an explanation for a celestial wonder like the Milky Way.
It's like their way of connecting with the cosmos, finding meaning in something so vast and mysterious.
Exactly. And it's no coincidence that Tintoretto chose to depict this myth during the Renaissance. They were rediscovering all this classical knowledge and art. It was like the ultimate inspiration.
So we've got this painting steeped in mythology, made during this incredible period of artistic innovation. But we know our understanding of the Milky Way has changed a lot since then.
Oh yeah, things are about to get even more interesting. Because less than 100 years after Tintoretto painted this, a guy named Galileo comes along and points his telescope at the sky, and everything changes. But that's a story for the next part of our deep dive. So imagine you're Galileo. You're peering through this newfangled telescope, and suddenly the Milky Way, this band of light that's captivated humanity for millennia, transforms before your eyes.
It must have been a total whoa moment, like mind blown.
Absolutely, no more spilled milk. Instead, Galileo sees countless stars packed together so tightly they appear as a continuous band of light. It's this incredible realization that the Milky Way isn't just some ethereal phenomenon. It's a vast collection of suns, just like ours, spread across unimaginable distances.
And that was just the beginning, right? We've come a long way since Galileo's first glimpses.
Oh, yeah. Today, we know the Milky Way is a barred spiral galaxy, a massive rotating disk of stars, gas, dust, and this mysterious stuff called dark matter.
Barred spiral. I always hear that term, but I'm not sure I totally get it. It sounds more like a fancy coffee drink than a galaxy.
Fair enough. Picture a flat disk, like a frisbee, with these spiral arms swirling out from a central bar-shaped structure. That's us, a giant cosmic pinwheel spanning over 100,000 light-years across.
100,000 light years. So the light we see from some of those stars began its journey while woolly mammoths were still roaming around.
Crazy, right? It's like looking back in time. And here's another wild thought. We're not just observing this from afar. We're part of it.
Whoa, hold on. I know we're in the Milky Way, but explain that a little more.
So we reside in one of those spiral arms called the Orion Arm. We're about 27,000 light years away from the galactic center. And we're all, the sun, the Earth, our entire solar system, caught up in this cosmic dance, swirling around that center along with billions of other stars.
It's kind of dizzying when you really think about it, all this motion, this vastness, and yet here we are having this conversation. And I keep coming back to that painting. Even though we know so much more now, there's something powerful about the way Tintoretto captured this human story in the midst of all that cosmic grandeur.
I agree. I mean, we've moved beyond explaining the universe solely through myths, right? But they still speak to us. There's something deep within us that wants to find meaning, to connect with something larger than ourselves. And those stories, they tap into that.
Yeah, they provide a framework, even if the details have changed. And art, like Tintoretto's painting, helps us experience those stories in this really visceral, emotional way.
Absolutely. Art bridges the gap between scientific understanding and human experience. It allows us to contemplate the universe not just through data and observations, but through emotions, through beauty. It brings the cosmos down to earth in a way.
It's like we've got this incredible tapestry of understanding. Mythology, art, science. Each one offers a unique perspective on the Milky Way. So, big picture, what do you think is the most important thing we've uncovered in this deep dive so far?
I think it's the evolution of our understanding, how our perspective shifts with new knowledge. We go from spilled milk to countless stars to this complex spiral galaxy teeming with possibilities.
And through it all, there's this constant human desire to make sense of it all, to find our place within this grand scheme, even as the answers keep changing.
Yes. It's like we're constantly reframing our understanding, much like reframing a painting to see it in a new light. Which actually brings us back to the whole framing discussion from earlier.
Oh, right. Because it's not just about the facts, is it? The way we frame things, our cultural backgrounds, our personal experiences, even our current scientific knowledge. All of that shapes how we see the universe.
You nailed it. So if we could step outside our current frame of reference for a moment, what other stories, what other images might we use to capture the Milky Way's vastness and mystery?
It's a real challenge to try and see something familiar with new eyes, to let go of what we think we know and imagine something totally different.
It is. It's like a mental exercise.
Yeah.
Like flexing those creative muscles. What if we looked at it from, say, other cultures' perspectives? They might have some mind-blowing ideas.
Ooh, yeah. Like different mythologies and cosmologies. Didn't some indigenous cultures see the Milky Way as like a river?
Exactly. A cosmic river, a celestial pathway connecting Earth and the spirit world.
I love that. It's so poetic, a river of souls flowing through the cosmos. It speaks to that human need to understand where we fit in, you know?
Absolutely. It's about finding metaphors that resonate. What clicks for us? Maybe instead of a river, it's a giant tapestry.
A tapestry.
Yeah. Woven with starlight. Each thread representing a story, a life, a connection across time and space.
Whoa, that's beautiful, like those intricate medieval tapestries, full of symbolism and hidden meanings.
And just like those tapestries, the Milky Way has its own patterns and structures, its own secrets waiting to be discovered.
It makes you wonder if there are other ways to experience the Milky Way. Beyond just looking at it, I mean. Could we, like, hear it somehow?
That's an interesting thought. I mean, think about pulsars. They emit these radio waves that can be translated into sound, and those interstellar gas clouds, they probably have their own whispers and echoes.
Oh, yeah, like a cosmic concert.
Yeah.
I've heard recordings of those pulsar signals, and it's wild. eerie but beautiful.
Exactly. Maybe understanding the universe isn't just about seeing, but about hearing, feeling, experiencing it with all our senses.
It's like those old limitations just fall away. What other incredible things are out there waiting to be discovered?
It's all about keeping that sense of wonder alive, that curiosity. It drives us to look up, ask questions, push those boundaries of what we think we know.
Well said. And as we wrap up this deep dive into the Milky Way, I want to leave you with a question to ponder. What stories do you see in the stars? What images come to mind when you look up at that celestial canvas?
Hold on to that awe, that feeling of connection to something bigger than yourself. Because even with all our scientific advances, there's still so much mystery and wonder out there just waiting to be explored.